Have you ever felt abandoned by the very people you thought would stand by you? Have you ever poured your heart out, expecting comfort, but received silence instead? That's when reality strikes. You realize that the world is too busy with its own struggles to truly carry yours. And in that moment of deep loneliness, you either collapse under the weight of disappointment, or you rise with a new understanding that no one truly cares except Allah. When we keep expecting people to heal us, defend us, or fill our emptiness, we set ourselves up for heartache. People are limited, they forget, they get tired, they change. But the one who never changes, the one who never forgets you, the one whose mercy is far greater than your pain, is Allah. The sooner you accept this, the sooner your heart will stop breaking over human neglect, and instead start shining with divine comfort. Many of us spend our lives chasing the approval of others, crying when they turn away, and collapsing when they fail to support us. But here's the truth: the one who does not need anyone is the one who is never broken. When you hand your worries to Allah, you're no longer a slave to people's opinions or their indifference. You walk with dignity, knowing that the King of Kings is on your side, even if the entire world is not. And so, my brothers and sisters, this realization is not meant to make you bitter. It's meant to set you free. Free from the chains of expectation, free from heartbreak, free from the illusion that people are the source of your happiness. Because once you know that no one truly cares except Allah, you stop begging for sympathy and start living in serenity, and that is where your true strength begins. Think about life for a moment. From the time we are children, we grow up believing that the people around us will always be there to care for us. We put our trust in family, in friends, in colleagues, and sometimes even in strangers. We imagine that when we fall, there will always be someone to catch us. When we cry, there will always be someone to wipe away our tears. But the reality of human nature is very different. People may care for us at times, but their care is not limitless. Their love has conditions, their support has boundaries, and their patience has limits. Not because they are evil, not because they wish us harm, but simply because they are human. They have their own struggles, their own burdens, their own lives to manage. It is natural to hope that others will stand by us, but it becomes dangerous when we start depending on them more than we depend on Allah. You see, the world teaches us to rely on human beings, yet the truth of life teaches us the opposite. People cannot carry what only Allah can carry. When your heart is broken, no one can truly heal it but Allah. When your soul feels empty, no human words can fill it. When you are lost in darkness, no one can guide you to the light except the one who created that light. This is the reality that many of us fail to understand until we are tested. We expect people to show up in our moments of pain, but often they don't. And sometimes Allah allows this to happen to remind us that His mercy is the only mercy without end. Imagine pouring your worries into the heart of another person. At first, they may listen patiently. They may even give you advice or comfort you with kind words, but as time goes on, they begin to grow tired. They may avoid your calls, change the topic, or even become irritated. Not because they hate you, but because they are limited. A human heart can only absorb so much. A human ear can only listen for so long. A human mind can only carry so many burdens before it feels overwhelmed. But when you turn to Allah, there are no limits. You can cry to Him every single night. You can repeat the same prayer 1,000 times. You can confess the same weakness again and again. And He will never turn away from you. His door never closes, His mercy never decreases, His patience never ends. This is why understanding the nature of people is so important. When you expect perfection from human beings, you will live in constant disappointment. But when you accept their limitations and direct your deepest hopes to Allah, you will find peace. People may love you today and forget you tomorrow. They may care for you when it is easy but abandon you when it becomes difficult. They may praise you in your presence and criticize you in your absence. That is human nature, but Allah's love is not like that. Allah's care is not temporary. Allah's mercy is not selective. He cares for you even when you disobey Him. He blesses you even when you forget him. He forgives you even when you repeat the same mistake. Who else can love you in this way? Every hardship you face is a reminder of this truth. Every moment of loneliness is a lesson. When you feel abandoned, it is not that no one cares. It is that Allah wants you to turn back to the one who truly does. If people cared endlessly for us, we might never seek the Creator. If people healed all our wounds, we might never feel the need to beg Allah. Sometimes the silence of the world around you is the loudest call from Allah telling you, "My servant, turn back to me. My mercy is greater than their sympathy. My care is beyond their reach." So, my brothers and sisters, let your heart rest in this truth. People have a limited capacity to care, but Allah's mercy is unlimited. Stop exhausting yourself by expecting what people cannot give. Instead, anchor your soul in the love of the one who never leaves you. Seek from him, depend on him, and cry only to him. Because when you do, you will discover a peace that no human comfort can ever provide. One of the most powerful lessons you can learn in life is to hand your heart over to Allah and trust him completely. So many people spend their lives restless and anxious because they place their trust in the wrong hands. They depend on friends, family, wealth, or positions to bring them stability, only to be left disappointed when those things fade or fail. But the one who entrusts everything to Allah, their fears, their dreams, their tears, their efforts, that person discovers a peace that nothing in this world can shake. Why? Because they have anchored their heart to the one who never disappoints. When you trust Allah, you stop obsessing over what people think or what people can do for you. You stop fearing the loss of temporary things because you know the one who gave them to you can replace them with something better. Trusting Allah doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you work hard, you try your best, but you hand over the results to Him. You stop burning yourself out with worry over things you cannot control. You recognize that your health, your provision, your relationships, your opportunities, everything is already in the hands of Allah, and when you live with this conviction, your heart becomes light. The opposite is also true. When people place their trust in humans, their lives become a cycle of heartbreak. They expect too much from others. They rely on people to never fail them, to never change, to never turn away. But human beings are weak. They will always fail at some point. And when they do, your world collapses if your trust was in them. But when your trust is in Allah, you are never shaken. People may betray you, but you remind yourself that Allah never betrays. Doors may close in your face, but you know that Allah has closed them to guide you towards something better. Loss may strike, but you see loss not as destruction, but as a redirection from the most merciful. Think of the countless times you have worried about tomorrow, only to find that tomorrow came and Allah carried you through it. Think of the nights you thought you would never survive, but here you are, still standing, because Allah never abandoned you. Trusting Him means remembering those moments and knowing that just as He cared for you yesterday, He will care for you today, and He will care for you tomorrow. His plan is always better than your fear. His wisdom is always greater than your understanding. His timing is always more perfect than your impatience. When the heart learns to trust Allah, disappointment loses its power. You no longer collapse when people let you down because you never depended on them to begin with. You no longer fear the future because you know the one who controls it. You no longer waste energy on anxiety over things outside your control because you recognize that Allah's control is enough. And this is the secret of true inner peace. It is not found in possessions, nor in status, nor in people. It is found in surrendering completely to the one who holds every moment of your life. My brothers and sisters, this trust is not built in a day. It is developed every time you remind yourself that Allah is sufficient. It is strengthened every time you turn to Him in prayer before turning to people. It grows when you reflect on His names, the Protector, the Provider, the All-Knowing, the Most Merciful. The more you know him, the more you trust him, and the more you trust him, the freer you become, free from fear, free from disappointment, free from the chains of expectation. So, place your trust where it belongs. Do your part, put in the effort, but leave the results to Allah. And when you do, you will find a calmness that money cannot buy and people cannot provide. You will walk through life with dignity, knowing that nothing can harm you except by His will, and nothing can benefit you except by His permission. That is the kind of peace every heart longs for, and it is only found when you trust in Allah. One of the deepest traps we fall into as human beings is the endless search for validation from others. We spend our lives waiting for people to notice us, to appreciate us, to encourage us, or to comfort us. And every time they don't, our hearts sink. We tell ourselves, if only they understood me, if only they stood by me, if only they gave me attention, I would feel better. But the truth is, no matter how much people validate you, it will never be enough. Their praise is temporary, their sympathy is inconsistent, their support is limited, and the more you chase it, the more you set yourself up for disappointment. There is a danger in living for the approval of people, because people are never satisfied. Today they may cheer for you, tomorrow they may criticize you. Today they may embrace you, tomorrow they may abandon you. If your worth depends on their words, then your happiness will rise and fall like the waves of the ocean, constantly unstable. But when your worth depends on Allah, when you seek His approval above all else, your heart becomes steady. You no longer feel crushed when people reject you, because you know the one who truly matters has never rejected you. You no longer break when they don't notice your efforts, because you know that Allah sees every tear, every struggle, every sacrifice that no one else acknowledges. The danger of seeking sympathy from people is that it makes you weak. You end up exposing your heart to those who cannot protect it. You expect them to heal wounds that only Allah can heal, and in doing so, you keep hurting yourself again and again. Think about it. How many times have you opened up to someone hoping they would understand, but instead they dismissed you, ignored you, or even used your pain against you? How many times have you sought comfort in the wrong place, only to feel emptier than before? This is what happens when you look for something infinite from those who are finite. Allah, on the other hand, never tires of hearing you. He never grows impatient with your complaints. You can come to Him in the middle of the night, with the same burden you carried yesterday, and He will still listen. You can cry the same words, repeat the same mistakes, and still His mercy will not run out. This is why seeking validation from Allah liberates the heart. You no longer need to broadcast your pain to the world. You no longer depend on likes, comments, or compliments to feel valuable. You know that your Creator values you far more than any human ever could. What happens when people's validation becomes your addiction? You start to live a life that isn't even yours. You make choices not because they please Allah, but because they please people. You wear what they want, you speak how they expect, you suppress your truth just to fit their standard. And slowly you lose yourself, but when you live for Allah, you gain yourself back. You live with purpose, not performance. You do good deeds quietly, without needing applause, because you know that the applause of the unseen world is far greater than the fleeting claps of this world. The Prophet once said that whoever seeks the pleasure of people at the cost of Allah's displeasure, Allah will leave them to the people, and whoever seeks the pleasure of Allah, even if people dislike it, Allah will be sufficient for them. This is the ultimate lesson. If you spend your life chasing people, you will always end up tired and empty, but if you spend your life chasing Allah's approval, you will find yourself full, content, and unshaken by the world's rejection. So, my brothers and sisters, stop giving your heart away to those who cannot protect it. Stop begging for sympathy from those who cannot heal you. Instead, turn your heart to the one who already knows every hidden wound. Seek validation from the one whose approval outlasts this world and the next, because when you do, you will no longer live at the mercy of people's opinions. You will live with the strength of knowing that Allah's opinion is the only one that truly matters. Every single one of us has faced moments in life where the weight of hardship felt unbearable. We ask ourselves why things went wrong, why people abandoned us, why opportunities slipped through our hands, why our hearts broke despite our sincerity. And in those moments of trial, we sometimes forget that difficulties are not punishments, they are reminders, they are signals from Allah pulling us back, whispering into our hearts, "My servant, come closer to me." Hardships are not signs of rejection, they are invitations to return to the one who truly cares for you more than anyone else ever could. When everything is going smoothly, when health is strong, money is flowing, friends are surrounding you, and life is sweet, how often do we truly remember Allah? For most of us, comfort makes us careless, ease makes us forgetful. It is in the moments of pain and struggle that the heart softens, that the ego weakens, and that the soul realizes its need for Allah. If life was always perfect, we would never cry in the middle of the night. We would never fall on our knees in desperation. We would never taste the sweetness of sincere dua. Trials are what awaken us from the illusion that we can live without Him. Hardships strip away false supports. When you lose something or someone you thought you could never live without, you learn that Allah was the only one sustaining you all along. When people turn their backs on you, it hurts, but it also forces you to recognize that your heart was never safe with them. It is only safe with Allah. When your plans crumble despite your best efforts, you realize that Allah's plan is always superior, and His wisdom is always greater than your understanding. In this way, trials are not enemies, they are guides. They break down the walls we build around ourselves, so we can finally open the door to the mercy of Allah. The danger comes when we misinterpret hardships. Some people think, Allah must hate me because my life is so difficult. But in reality, sometimes the opposite is true. If Allah wanted to abandon you, He would leave you lost in comfort, never waking you up, never reminding you, never bringing you closer. But when He loves you, He tests you. He removes the distractions, He shakes your life, He puts you in situations where your only option is to raise your hands and call upon Him. And in that moment of brokenness, you are actually stronger than ever before, because you are connected to the most powerful. Look back at your own life. How many of your closest moments with Allah came during times of ease, and how many came during times of pain? Think of the nights you cried and thought no one cared, only to feel the peace of pouring your heart out in sujud. Think of the days when people ignored you, only for you to discover that Allah never ignored you. Think of the times you lost what you thought was everything, and yet Allah replaced it with something greater. These are not coincidences, these are the lessons hidden inside every hardship. The reality is, Allah tests us not to break us, but to rebuild us. He takes away not to harm us, but to clear space for something better. He closes doors not to trap us, but to guide us toward doors we would never have seen on our own. Every hardship carries a hidden mercy, and every pain carries a hidden gift. The problem is that we often look only at the surface, the loss, the hurt, the rejection, without seeing the hand of Allah guiding us to a greater purpose. So, my brothers and sisters, the next time life feels heavy, remind yourself that this is not the end. Remind yourself that the hardship is not a sign of abandonment, but a sign that Allah is pulling you closer. Trials are a divine language, a way Allah speaks to us when we are too distracted to listen. And if you embrace them with patience, with trust, and with hope, you will discover that the hardest moments of your life are often the ones that bring you the closest to the one who truly cares. From the time we are young, we crave love. We long for it from our parents, our friends, our partners, and our children. And for a time, we may even feel fulfilled when people show us affection, loyalty, or care. But the reality of human love is that it always carries conditions. People love you when you please them. They love you when you fit their expectations. They love you as long as you benefit them in some way, whether emotionally, financially, or socially. The moment you fall short, the moment you change, the moment you can no longer serve their interests, that love begins to fade. This is not because people are heartless, but because human nature is fragile and limited. How many friendships have you seen collapse over misunderstandings? How many families have you witnessed break apart over disagreements? How many relationships that once promised forever have turned into silence and distance? Human love can be beautiful, but it can also be fragile. It is tied to emotions, circumstances, and personal desires. When those shift, so does the love, and if your heart depends entirely on the love of people, then every shift will shatter you. You will find yourself constantly afraid of losing their affection, constantly changing who you are to hold onto their approval. And that is a life of anxiety, not peace, but contrast that with the love of Allah. His love does not vanish when you make a mistake. His love does not decrease when you are weak. His love does not depend on you being perfect. In fact, even when you disobey him, he still provides for you. Even when you forget him, he still protects you. Even when you turn away from him, he still calls you back. Who else loves you like that? Who else continues to give when you take for granted? Who else forgives you again and again for the same shortcomings? Only Allah. His love is unconditional, unmatched, and everlasting. The beauty of Allah's love is that it liberates you from chasing the conditional love of people. When you anchor your heart in his love, you no longer fear losing theirs. You understand that people may love you one day and hate you the next, but Allah's affection never changes. You understand that the world's love is temporary, but his is eternal. You understand that every act of obedience, every sincere tear, every moment of remembrance is a way to strengthen your bond with the one whose love is infinite. And that bond is worth more than the fleeting affection of the entire world. Think of the countless blessings he showers upon you daily, the breath in your lungs, the beating of your heart, the food on your table, the safety in your home. None of these depend on your perfection. They are gifts given purely out of his mercy and love. Even your ability to turn to him in prayer is a sign of his love, because he is the one who inspired your heart to remember him in the first place. When you realize this, you no longer chase love in the wrong places. Instead, you work to be loved by Allah because his love guarantees success in this life and the next. This does not mean that human love is meaningless. Allah created love between spouses, between parents and children, between friends as a mercy, but he also reminds us not to depend on it more than we depend on him. Human love is a gift, not a guarantee. And like every gift, it must never be valued above the giver. When you understand this, you enjoy the love of people without being enslaved by it. You accept it when it comes, and you survive when it leaves, because your foundation is in the everlasting love of Allah. So, my brothers and sisters, remember this truth. People may love you conditionally, but Allah loves you unconditionally. Do not measure your worth by the shifting affections of people. Measure it by the fact that your Creator thought you were worthy of existence, that he continues to sustain you, that he continues to call you back no matter how far you wander. That love is unlike any other. And if you seek it, nurture it, and hold on to it, you will find a peace that no betrayal, no rejection, and no loss can ever take away. Life will always remind us that people are limited. Their love, their care, and their support can only go so far. They may walk with us for a time, but eventually they step aside, whether by choice, by weakness, or by circumstance. And every time this happens, it is not meant to crush us. It is meant to lift our eyes back to the one who never leaves. When you accept that no one truly cares except Allah, you stop wasting your heart on disappointments, and you start investing it where it belongs. You begin to live with dignity, with resilience, and with peace, because your trust is no longer in fragile hearts, but in the Lord of all hearts. True strength is not found in chasing people's sympathy, nor in demanding their constant attention. It is found in surrendering your pain to Allah, in relying on his wisdom, and in believing that his love is enough for you. Every trial, every rejection, every tear becomes a bridge leading you closer to him. And in that closeness, you discover a sweetness that no worldly comfort can replace. That is where your freedom lies, that is where your worth is secured, and that is where your heart finally finds rest. So walk through life with your head high, not because people stand behind you, but because Allah walks beside you. Do your best for His sake, seek His approval above all, and trust His plan in every season of life. If you do this, no loss will break you, no rejection will crush you, and no loneliness will consume you. You will live knowing that the one who truly cares has always cared, and will always care, more than anyone else ever could. Thank you for listening with an open heart. May Allah grant us the wisdom to turn to Him, the patience to trust Him, and the strength to find peace in His love alone.